Open Air Show with Tom Remington. This is the show that promises to deliver to you issues that matter.
He's liable to ask some direct questions.
You're locked in. Now, get ready for a thrilling ride. Were you born to be wild?
Welcome to another episode of Open Air with Tom Remington, and that's me. And I've decided today to address an issue that I think is talked about often, but I'm not sure how much serious thought people put into what they're saying. We always say that the media is controlled by, and then you fill in the blank. And, the media manipulates all kinds of things. You fill in the blank. But I took 15 minutes and I just went online and I copy and pasted headlines that are on. Now, these come from Fox News, from the New York Times, from the Associated Press. They come from some of the bigger blogs like Huffington Post, Breitbart TV or Breitbart.com, The Blaze, which is, Glenn Beck's thing. So it's a wide variety of things. But as I read these, bear in mind that I don't have the statistics on it, but a lot of people scan the news. They don't read what the article says. They remember what the headline says. Okay? So with that in mind, plus the simple fact that the headline is usually the first thing that anybody reads, even if they go on to read the entire article, that headline somehow just gets kind of embedded into somebody's thought, and it molds and it manipulates and it chisels here and it adds there, and it influences our thought. So as I read through these, forget about what the content said. It's the wording. It's what the headline says, and sometimes it's what the headline doesn't say. And I didn't write down where these came from because it's irrelevant to the whole thing. The media is the media. It's what exists everywhere that people have access to. And that's where, everybody, gets their information and news from. Very few people go beyond a headline. Those that go beyond that and read something, very few spend the time to substantiate the information they receive. They just sort of accept it or they reject it for just basically their own idealistic bias, So I'll go through these and make a little short commentary. I don't want to make this long. There's a headline that reads admin. And what that meant was, in the context, just so I can clarify, is someone within the President Obama's administration made the statement, the war on terror is over. Okay. Again, forget what the article says, what is written, what is read. The headline says the war on terror is over. How about this one? Mob beats man unconscious on his front porch. Okay. Now, as you read through these, also bear in mind and ask yourself the question, whether the information the media gives you is true or not. Where are we headed as a society, even if you don't think beyond who it is who writes and creates these headlines? Okay? Whether the headlines are true or not may not matter to some people, or what it actually says behind it, but that we are to a point in our society that we feel that it's necessary to write these headlines and to write them in such a way that it grabs your interests and influences what you think. White House clears itself of wrongdoing in summit scandal. Okay. Twitter buzzes with talk of Zimmerman riots. Okay. Here's a case where, I don't know if that's true. I didn't go over to Twitter and try to find out if people over there talking about rioting over George Zimmerman and the whole case of killing Trayvon Martin or whatever. It's the point that the Twitter buzzes over talk of Zimmerman riots. Okay, they're inciting people to believe that there's going to be riots. There may be, okay, but is that necessary? Women's rights in jeopardy if Romney becomes president. Don't you love it? I mean, it doesn't matter if there's an ounce of truth to that. It's a great headline, isn't it? I mean, it just catches everybody's attention, and they'll go away with believing that. They won't substantiate. It's just like yesterday I was on Facebook and somebody had posted up this, well, it was a photo actually, but it was what the 99% believe. And it listed all of this stuff. And it's like, well, this stuff is all great. Nobody in their right mind wouldn't agree with this. There was only a couple of problems wrong with it. One being that the information they presented was so generic in form. It's like the 99% believes in happiness. Well, who the hell don't believe in happiness? Okay? But some people might believe that happiness comes by being a millionaire, and other people might think happiness comes in rounding up all the rednecks in the world and locking them up in jail, you know. And the other issue with those things that Occupy believes in is they don't, you know. So that's what you get. Like, women's rights are in jeopardy if Romney becomes president. I mean, I can say, hey, you know, everybody will lose their gun in America if they vote for Barack Obama. And make that a headline, and there'll be people that just, well, did you hear about Obama's going to take everybody's guns away from them? All right, here's a Democrats' political correctness policies putting the U.S. in danger of Muslim Brotherhood. Think about that for a minute, okay? Because of the Democrats' political correctness, the United States is in danger of being overtaken by the Muslim Brotherhood. Better stop being politically correct if you're a Democrat. What if you're a Republican and you're politically correct? Oh, my. Here's one. Huntsman compares GOP to Chinese Communist Party. It's a pretty good one. And that one there, you could debate that one for hours on end. Here's one from the Associated Press. I remember that because I happened to write it down. Ready for this one? Romney hates the poor and disabled. Loves guns. Boy, if that ain't a mouthful, huh? Romney hates the poor and the disabled. Can you imagine that? Imagine that somebody wrote that headline. Okay, now I understand headlines. I write headlines every day, and I put some thought in it, and sometimes I'll write a headline like that because I need to grab your attention. Okay, I'm not the New York Times. I'm a blogger, right? And I'm starving for money. And I'll write headlines that I'm in hopes that I'll grab your attention, because on this internet thing, you only got a matter of seconds to hold somebody's interest. And if you don't, you're in trouble. Here's another one. If you agree with Sarah Palin, you should see my psychiatrist. You know what that tells me? That the idiot who wrote the headline, and I'm not going to tell you who it was, you can go find out if you want to, is seeing a shrink, probably because he's obsessed with Sarah Palin. Oh, And here's one. Why anyone should care that Bill O'Reilly called me a communist? Now, that's in reference to Robert Reich, I think. Or Reich, however you choose to pronounce his name. I'm really not sure of the correct way. Evidently, at some point in time, again, I haven't. It ain't worth my time to go look it up. But it appears that Bill O'Reilly, somewhere in the context of something he said, must have called this Robert Reich a communist. Okay, here's another. GOP leaders. America may never recover from Obama. Again, it's like what it's obvious the thoughts that they're trying to plant in our heads. We've had some real interesting presidents over the years, and I don't think whoever is president is going to matter whether or not the America recovers or not, and that's another headline all in itself. Here's one. Report. Large percentage. I'm sorry. I some of these are cracking me up. Large percentage of waiters discriminate against blacks. And evidently somebody did a study. They did a study that showed that a large percentage, we don't know what a large percentage is, but a large percentage of waiters discriminate against blacks. Forget it. Here's one. Ted Nugent is a convicted slob hunter. All right. Major backers of Romney's super PAC shrouded in mystery. We don't know anything about it. Neither does the person who wrote the article. But if you write an article about Romney's super PAC, and if you somewhere in there you might toss in some not even related incidents of mystery, then you can create a headline that says major backers of Romney super PAC shrouded in mystery. Here's a good one. A construction giant expected to admit of fraud scheme. Now here we are. America was founded in one of those countries that it was somewhere along the line. It was important enough to write it down that a person is innocent until proven guilty, and they're given due process of the law and proper legal representation and that sort of stuff. But mind you, a construction giant. They're expected because somebody's hoping, who knows, that they're going to admit to fraud. Oh, here's a good one. Chris Matthews, Chris Matthews uses term grand wizard to describe GOP to Michael Steele. Michael Steele was a former head of the Republican National Committee, and so he uses the term grand wizard. I wonder what he was implying. You see how all these things just manipulate, and it's unreal. Where are the 63... this has to be one of my favorites. Where are the 63 drone sites approved by the FFA, the Federal Aviation Administration, in the U.S.? Where are the 63 drone sites? Did you notice what happened to the press asking, why are we going to have 30,000 drones flying in U.S. airspace by the year 2013 spying on us? What? That somehow just kind of passed over everything. So now we're just casually mentioned, hey, where are the 63 drone sites that the FAA has in the United States? Not is it, why are these slime balls, these unethical, illegal jerks in Washington, why are they creating laws that give these people the authority to spy on innocent Americans? Where's that headline? Huh? I just made it up. Should the FBI have shut down a whole email server over bomb threats? Okay. I mean, that one's loaded. Okay, the FBI. Ooh, FBI. They're bad. And a whole email server. What does that mean? Does that mean Gmail? Yahoo? Hotmail? Or does that mean somebody's company server that they have? We don't know. They don't. But we don't want to put that in there. Over bomb threats. Okay. The whole idea is to, one, incite some sort of fear here, and then what's not talked about, and this is what I said earlier on when I started, it's what they write, but it's also what they don't write that is actually more disturbing than all of the rest of it. Okay? The FBI shut down somebody's email server because of a bomb threat? Does this not send up a red flag to anybody that our government, through all of these little bills that get passed, we don't know what's in them? You know, that we find out that we don't have any rights and they have a right to just shut us down on the internet? It's the only bastion of freedom left for a fella to speak his mind, and the government's doing everything they can to take it away from us. FBI shut down an email server. Why? Somebody created a bomb threat. Who? The FBI, more likely. Anyway, you know, that's what we face every day. And what I challenge you to do is when you pick up the newspaper, you go online, whatever you do, don't read this crap. That's what it is. It's crap. If you can't not read just the headline, which if you do that, you're going to take away from that whatever your mind wants to take away from, whether it's true or not, or can be substantiated or not, that's you're going to walk away. If you can't do any better than that, don't even bother to read it. Okay? Just go buy a book or something and read it. You'll get a lot more out of it, you know? But if you go beyond that and actually read the article, okay, don't accept what's in the article as being the truth unless that person who writes it can provide all the information and whatever of where he got his or her information from. You know, be responsible here and stop doing this crap. They're just controlling everything, and it's working real good. Trust me, it's working real good. That's my rant for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Open Air with Tom Rim.